Hello and welcome. In this lesson, we are going to continue working on Jamie's marketing budget, taking it step by step, and using the tools we've been learning and some new ones that we'll be adding as we go. Looking at what we did in previous lessons, now we want to add more table headers to indicate the expected schedule of our expenses. We could do it on a monthly basis. So, for example, I can select the cell next to expenses and type January. Then February. I could keep going, but as I'm sure you're already thinking, this will be an ideal job for the fill handle. I can select both cells and click and drag the fill handle and done. Great. Now, for the purpose of time, instead of using a monthly basis for the budget, I'll use quarters, meaning that I'll divide the year in 3-month periods. That will make it easier to fill for the purpose of this example. But again, you can choose any format that works for you. So I'm going to delete the month-by-month example and then click on B3 to add Q1 as the label. Press Tab to go to C3 and write Q2. I'll use the fill handle to take care of the other 2 quarters. Great. Now, I'm also going to add the title totals at both ends of the budget. So select F3, write totals, then copy and paste in A12. As a personal preference, I'll also double click on the cell and add the word expenses, so it reads total expenses. Alright, we have our labels and the list of expenses. All we need now is the numerical data values. Okay, so I'll click on B4 to enter the amount that Jamie's company is planning to spend in print ads for the first quarter of the year, or Q1. Let's say 1200. Now I press Tab for Q2, and Jamie is planning to spend 815 print ads. These are just random numbers I'm throwing here. I'm not doing any strategic thinking, so don't judge the amounts. Okay, let's keep going with Q3 and Q4. For online ads, Jamie decides to spend 1500 every quarter. I know what you're thinking. I can enter 1500 in every cell, or I can just copy and paste 4 times. But why doing that way when we have the fill handle? There you go. Now, as I continue adding numeral values in our budget, you may have noticed something interesting happening already. As I type the numbers, Excel immediately recognizes the entry as numeric data and justify it to the right. In comparison, if you look at the cells that contain text, they are justified to the left. Remember we mentioned the term data types in a previous session. By data types, we refer to attributes of the data or information we enter in a cell that tell the program how the user intends to use the data. The most common data types in Excel are text values, numerical values, logical values, and error types. Excel continues to add more data types every now and then, but these are the basic ones we'll be referring the most in this course. For example, we use text values for the title and labels of our budget, as we already shown, and Excel recognizes those as text and justifies them to the left, as is common in most languages. With the numbers, we can see that Excel recognizes numeric values as such, not as a text. The default format for numbers is right justified, among other reasons to make sure that numbers align when you are using decimals. But we can change the default formats the same way that you'll do it in any other Office program. For example, I'll select the top labels of the budget and go to the ribbon to justify them to the center. Next, I know these numbers represent monetary value, so I can select the range of cells I want, and if you look at the ribbon, in the Home tab you'll find the currency icon. Click on it, and you'll see that Excel now displays the numeric data as currency. If you need to use a different currency and format, keep your cell selected, or select again the range of numerical values, and click the little arrow next to the currency icon. By default, just a few ones are displayed in the menu, but if you need a different one, just select More Accounting Formats. Here you can change the number of decimals to be used and the symbol of your preference. In this case, I leave the formatting for dollars. Now, Things are looking better here. Let's say I also want the budget to start looking nicer, more like a table. I can select the range of cells that I want as part of my table, and in the ribbon, I'll go to locate the border tool. Click on the little arrow next to it, and from the options, I can select the type of border I want in my table. For now, I'll select all borders. To visually separate the column and row of totals from the others, I'll select the range of cells for the totals, go to the border tool again, and select a thick border, just to distinguish the totals from the rest of the data. With this method of selecting cells and range of cells, you can change font styles, color, etc. You could also combine this manual way to format the cells with the pre-formatted styles that Excel provides. In the ribbon, you'll find different options to apply automated formatting. But at this point, as we haven't finalized our table, don't use format as table, but by cell styles. Now, remember that depending on the version you are working with, your ribbon may look slightly different to mine. But the functionality is the same and it's there. Okay, select the cell or range of cells you want to work with and look for a style you like. I'll use the heading 1 for my title. I'll also select the top labels in my budget table and use a heading 2 as style. There we go. Now, keep going and play around with different styles. Use what you have learned so far to, perhaps, prepare a budget that fits your real work scenario and have it ready before the next session, where we'll start working with formulas. See you there.